It should be telling us what you will do. Are you going to sell cars that are the same vehicles? Are they going to be cheaper? What is it that you're going to do? Yeah. You're assuming nobody else knows what you're doing in the company. So what is it you're going to do? Are you selling different kind of cars? Are you selling different, I don't know.
We're selling the same cars.
Okay.
Yes.
Nancy?
You say that, yes.
Henry here. You see, from our strategy, we had realized that we had to design different models of execution. And one of the models was the fact that inflation was affecting different brands. Yeah. So we realized that we can acquire different cars or different brands from nearby countries where our shipment costs can be reduced. And in this case, we came up with a solution or a vision where we are going to digitize, in that we do not need salespeople to go to the different clients or the potential prospects. So we designed or we automated a platform which is going to have customers serve themselves directly. We just send digital messages, digital flyers. So should people fall in love with our brands we have, they can order online. So in that case, I've eliminated the cost of maintaining salespeople and paying targets or commission to them. And in this case, after automation, we are going to tailor brands slightly cheaper because we are no longer going to those high-end or the expensive operations to ship the brands in our country. So our brands will slightly be cheaper. In this case, as per our vision or our mission, we said, is the aim is to automate and eliminate some of the sunk costs.
As you're saying, that is the aim, eh? But the vision should capture the new way of selling cars. You know, like how I said, now I'll be doing virtual trainings to be able to do that. You understand? So introduce your vision by saying, how will your car sales business look like?
Okay, so that is selling online.
Yes, so it starts by saying that, because these people down there don't know your mind there, so you must tell them what you're seeing so they can sit with you. We are changing the way you're selling our cars to this mode. For example, is going to virtual training to be able to do this, and we shall save that. You understand? It's correct what you're saying. I can see what you're saying is correct, but introduce the new mode of doing business in just one line.
Which is just saying aiming at self-service. So
you can say introducing self-service, what? Digital sales of cars, something like that.
Yes.
Yes, then I continue with what you have said. Okay. But the first entrance line is very, very important because it's telling them what the new selling would look like.
Okay.
So introduce by saying, from the older way of selling cars, we were selling like this. Now we'll have a different way of selling cars, a different way of doing business. And in that way, we shall be able to do this and that and that. Yeah? Okay.
So
it's correct. It's just the way you introduced it. They have to see the entire picture. But well done. That's a good vision.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
We move to the
last question.
Number 4, using the quota's 8-step change model, illustrate the change strategy for the organization. Yeah. So step 1, the stage 1, establishing the sense of urgency. So would sensitize the organization, the members of the organization, that the rise in the inflation is not temporary. Thus, we need to find a long-lasting solution, not just for that situation only. So we need to come up with all sorts of ideas to work with this inflation, with this situation. So it's basically sensitization.
And the sensitization will involve the outsiders, those are the customers, and insiders, that are the staff.
Okay. The next was form powerful guiding coalition. Establishing the digital platforms for marketing and delivery. The third was the vision, which we had stated.
Let's go back to your second step.
Establishing digital platforms for marketing and delivery.
Okay, a coalition here needs a team of people who will be able to guide the change. Yeah? It's people. You pick people from their company who will help the leader drive the change. It's about people, not systems here. You can say you can pick a person, somebody in finance, somebody in maybe ICT, depending on the company, how your business is going on. So it's about the people you're going to understand, eh? It's people, leaders, to help you in the leadership, in the leading of the change model.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Stage 3, continue.
Stage 3 was the vision, compiling the vision.
Yeah, which you have shared.
We had said, yes. Stage 4, communicate the vision widely through memos, internal memos, and emails to the staff frequently. Stage 5, empower employees to act on the vision by training, mostly training on the digital platforms for the staff that we were able to retain. We train them. And also those who are not able to adapt to these sorts of training will have to let go of them. Yeah. Stage 6, generate short-term wins.
Here in generating short-term wins, we are looking at setting up targets that are reviewable periodically and rewarding for whoever achieves.
Okay, great.
Stage 7, consolidating gains, creating greater change.
So when we consolidate the gains from our change of model change, we are looking at customers are serving themselves. So now we are trying to establish how often do we engage or which interfaces we are bringing the customers to for better, to make the self-service platform better and better for more volumes. And also having advanced customer client relations.
Great, okay.
And stage 8, reinforce changes in the organization. We have redesigning policies or creating new policies, probably a digital policy for the company. Redesigning packages.
The packages, in this case, you are tailoring. If at all the commission was more on 10 cars per month, here you are like, because of our sales volume, we can say the targets have been reviewed upwards and this is the commission per brand. So you design different pots of commission, you design different packages internally and offers to the clients like discounts, things of that kind.
And also a continuous communication, along the way.
Great.
Yes.
So that's where we stand as group 5.
Oh, great. Great work. Good work, group 5.
Thank you.
Good. In the part of communicating your vision, consider face-to-face meetings with the staff. Apart from memos and email, which are also good, but face-to-face is very effective also. You can have small group meetings in different departments for face-to-face.
Okay.
Yeah. Well done, group 5. Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next group.
It was group 3. Group 3. Anyone in who was in group 3? Rebecca, please start.
Yes, I'm connecting my microphone.
We can hear you now, Rebecca.
Hear you. She's disappeared again.
Hello?
Hi.
You can hear me, but me, I can't hear you.
You can hear you, but you can't hear me.
Rebecca, are you able to hear us?
Yeah, please.
All right, continue.
They hear you, but you don't hear them. Let's give you another.
Hi.
Start. Okay, somebody else maybe support.
Sonia, you are in the same group? Hello? Can we move to group 1 as they prepare? Group 1? Which group is ready to present now?
Oh, have we lost them?
I'm wondering.
Anybody there?
Can you hear us, guys?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sonia, can you?
This is group 3. Pardon?
Go ahead and present.
This is group 3.
To develop a compelling change vision for the organization's change initiative. Yeah, based on the case study that was given to us, our vision is to produce easily disposable packaging materials to retain and grow our market share. The new packaging materials will be environment friendly and will be easy to dispose of. That's our change vision.
Okay, continue, yes.
Okay, yeah, so question number 4, using Kota's 8-step change model, illustrate the change strategy for the organization. So our first stage is to establish a sense of urgency. First of all, we already know that the government has banned the use of plastic bottles. So our sense of urgency here is to produce easily disposable packaging materials.
So that what?
So that we retain and grow our market share in the packaging industry.
You can still the business, yes, exactly. You don't have to close. Continue, yes, yeah, go on. You must add that.
Yes. Sorry?
You must add that, why are we changing? Because of policy has been taken by the government, and we need to continue doing our business and keep our jobs and continue working, isn't it?
Okay, yes, true.
Yes.
Okay,
You have to add
so,
that.
okay, we move on to stage 2.
Hello?
Hi, Janina.
Hello. You've lost her?
To talk to them about this new change that is coming and why we need to move that direction, and everything entailed in the change, what we need, what kind of people we need, and eventually what we're looking at eventually. So yeah, and then we'll develop a compelling vision. We already talked about our vision. In this vision, we are telling people about how the new normal is going to look like. So for example, we're going to produce the easy disposable packaging materials, and we are looking at using paper, hard paper with like soft foil lining inside, so that we can use that instead of the bottles that the government has banned. So we are telling people the disadvantages of the bottles that the government is doing away with, and why we are going to the new packaging, and we tell them advantages of the new packaging so that they can easily also be able to sell out the idea. So we move to another step of communicating the vision widely. here we will involve all the stakeholders to talk to their staffs, maybe down to the dual everyone to get to know about what the new packaging is going to look like. So that those will be even ambassadors later when we roll it out to the market, and they'll be the first people to market it out to the market. And then we look at empowering employees to act on the vision. At this step, we are looking at if we have changed our strategy and we're bringing in new packaging, that means we'll have a new machinery probably to work on the new packaging. That means we might need people, maybe consultants, to come in and train our staffs that are already existing, or we even add in new staffs to work on that already have that experience to work on that line of production. We talk to the people, take them through how the line of production is going to be, because it definitely changes from the bottle production. We try to acquire the machinery that we need. Yes. Then we do trial production. We can try to produce a few of the packaging and we see how it comes out using our staffs that we have trained, and we just to verify if they are competent enough to actually do that. And then we move the step of generating short-term wins. At this step, we expect to, if we have done some trial production, and we've had it, some of it go to the market, and we see if have we had any complaints, has it actually worked, have they ordered more and more, or we've had to go back and do and make changes. It's at this stage that we have to verify and see if we have been able to sell, then how much have we had to sell? We have any new clients coming on board that will help us to evaluate and see if we really need to go ahead with this new packaging, or we need to change it, stop at that point and maybe change it to something. Then under consolidating gains and creating greater change, we are looking at, we shall review and see if maybe the materials that we're using to produce this, basically the whole production line, if it was effective, the staffs are okay, and they produced what is required, the required standard. We shall see if, for example, here in Uganda have the Bureau of Standards, if they have passed actually our product, they think it's good. Yeah, that is what we shall do at that stage. We also bring on all our other partners, because now we have confirmed that we are rolling out in the market. So we have to make sure all our partners, associates, everyone comes on board now to get to know this whole product, because now we are at this stage, we are approved.
Hello?
Are you still there? I think they have hanged.
Okay, but you're finished, I think. They've done till the last.
A lot of them have dropped off. I think there is a problem with the network.
We've got a power problem.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so power has just come back. And
all right.
I think maybe people got off.
Have you finished?
I was just explaining the very last bit of question 4, reinforcing the change in the organization. At this stage, we are looking at, first of all, we are looking at training staffs more to become more competent in this line of production, because the system has changed. So we have confirmed that we are doing this product, and we have to train the staffs more. And then also we can educate the staffs more about green manufacturing, whereby everything they are doing, they have to keep in mind they have to consider environment in everything, because it's what the government based on to pass the law against plastic bottles. Yeah, that's our submission.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Well done, group 3. That's very insightful. Okay, the next one.
Group 2. Group 2, where are you? Mona Lisa.
Hello?
Hi. How are you?
Hi. I'm okay. How are you?
Very fine. Can we see your face?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello. Yes, now we can see you. Please present for group 2. We can't really hear you.
Our question.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Modern Fashion. Modern Fashion is a local clothing and textile company that designs and sells clothes for men, women, and children, mainly for export within the East African region. Their market share in the local market is low, mainly due to high competition from the second-hand clothing importing sector. A law has been passed on to ban the importation of second-hand clothes to promote the local textile industry. So we identified in the pastel, I think there were 2. I don't know if we have to choose one factor, but from what we saw, there was a legal factor that is on the L because of the law that has been passed by the government to ban importation of second-hand clothes. But there was also a change that might happen with economic growth because of we're boosting the economy through production of local production as opposed to importation.
I think in this case you choose one legal because you're asking on what has been done. That was passed.
Okay.
I think legal is enough. Legal is enough.
Yeah. So the change that we are going to, that's going to happen in our organization is that we are going to introduce capital-intensive methods of production and reduce labor-intensive methods of production due to an increase in demand. So number 2, which was, sorry.
Mackenzie's 7S model.
Yes. So for Mackenzie's 7S model, we've identified 4 S's that will be affected. The first one is the systems. Our workflow is bound to change in that our targets are going to increase due to increase in demand from the local market. So we shall need to think of new delivery channels, that is channels that can target the second-hand clothes market locally. And then we'll also need to move towards the capital-intensive method of production as opposed to labor-intensive method of production. Then the second one will be strategy. Our strategy is going to change. We have to think of new strategies that will increase buying in the local market. So we'll need to think of how we are going to convince the local market that products that are clothes that are produced locally are just as good as clothes that are imported. And then we'll also have to think of a strategy that will lower, that will cater for the second-hand market, because this market normally prefers lower cost clothes, but still good quality. So our strategy will have to be lower cost, but good quality products. Then the third one is the staff. Our staff might increase due to the increase in demand. So we're looking at hiring new staff to deal with the distribution, new seamstresses, and others. Then the skills, we'll need to train the staff on new skills around the capital-intensive production methods, e.g. how to deal with the machinery. Then question 3 was the change vision. Sorry, just a moment. So our change vision, Yeah, for the change vision, we are going with introduce capital-intensive methods of production to continue providing consistent products in terms of quality and quantity to the market. This new method will help us to increase our competitiveness by reaching a wide scope of customers locally, while still providing consistent service to our regional market. That it will also help us to reduce human errors, hence more accurate products, increase efficiency, that is the speed and uniformity of our output, and then we'll also reduce on the problem of labor shortages while boosting technical economies of scale, because increased efficiency will ultimately lead to a reduction in average cost of production.
Okay.
Then, hello?
Hello.
Yes, then for question 4, we're supposed to use Kota's 8-step change model to illustrate the change strategy of our organization. So in the first stage, where we're establishing a sense of urgency, we shall introduce the capital-intensive method of production to increase competitiveness in the local market. Then in the second stage, for step 2, to form a powerful guiding coalition, we're looking at using line managers and senior executives, and also picking specific passionate and committed employees who will help to convince or to build buy-in to the rest of the employees. Then the third step, developing a compelling vision, will focus on capital-intensive methods than labor-intensive methods to maintain good quality and quantity of our products across the region, but also locally. Then communicating the vision widely, we shall use face-to-face communication, but we'll do it in a phased approach, kind of, or a trickle-down approach. So we'll start with higher levels of management, who will then communicate to the line managers, who will communicate to the staff in their various departments. Then empowering staff to act on the vision, we shall train staff on new production methods. That is how to operate the machines and any other, maybe driving the cars that lead to the distribution channels and all those other capital-intensive equipment or things. Then we'll also train the staff on health and safety measures to promote safety in the factories. Then generating short-term wins, we'll review our progress and the success of the new production methods that we've introduced. We'll also review the quality of products that are being produced using these new methods and compare with or benchmark with similar products in other markets within the region. Then we shall also celebrate our wins by rewarding staff, maybe through discounts or giving free outfits and clothing, and things like that. Then consolidating our gains to create greater change, we'll benchmark and adapt new production methods and workflows that have proved to be best practice in other economies or other markets, and also with our competitors. We'll create new clothing designs that will align with the local market demand. And then we'll also create winners in the local market, and also distributors who have probably been distributing for the local second-hand importers. Then finally, to reinforce change in the organization, we'll develop workflow and standard procedures of operation, which based on what we've been doing, and through after reviewing and evaluating the new methods of production. And then we'll communicate also to our wholesale customers the changes that have been made, and we'll also come up with ways of promoting demand for our products, maybe through discount packages and other ways. Yeah, that's it.
Well done. That was very,
thank you.
very well. Yes, yeah. Good work. Next group, is any other group presenting?
Group 4. Group 4. All right, who is presenting? Group 4. Hello?
Have we lost them?
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, we
Now we
can.
can hear.
Okay. Group 4, we are journalist printers. We deal in book printing,
Yes.
textbooks, and we also deal in coursework textbooks for university students. Apparently, the Ministry of Education has established an e-student and ICT online platform for students to access. This will allow students to buy online books and giving them access to any course texts and as they need directly from the online site. That's what the ministry wants. So from the pastel, to answer the first question, majorly this is political. For us, because it's a directive from the Ministry of Education. So it's going, and also it's also technological because we have to change our mode of operation in order to be able to address this issue. And it's also legislative in a way.
Can I add something?
Yes.
When it comes to government policy, like a ministry, it's more political. It's political in the pastel.
Yeah, it's majorly political.
Yeah, legal is to do with things like now what we had in the plastic bottles. Yeah, it's a law that has been passed, but this is a government policy, so it's a political element of the pastel.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
And then for part 2, using Mackenzie's module, we shall start with scaling. Of course, we need first, okay, the strategy is to create an online platform where we can be able to, where students can access these books, where we can put our business, so that students can be able to access this information. We are looking at scaling our staff in order to so that they can be able to handle this, to be able to work within our operations. We're looking at creating an online platform that can be automated, where students can access the books, but purchase them. We also need to, this system will also cover, because we have suppliers for these books. So instead of printing our own books, we can now buy these books we can get soft copies from other suppliers, and then we upload them on the system, and then suppliers, we can be able to pay these suppliers. And then also the students can go on the same platform and then purchase this information. Yeah, so we will have an automated system that kind of operates automatically, to be automated. Developing for the part of 3, that is to develop a compelling change vision for the organization. We'll look at a training methodology changing from printing hard copy textbooks to ebooks. That's our vision.
That's very, what else about the vision? That's all you said about the vision. How would that look like? How would that benefit the employees and the market? Expand further on the vision.
Pardon?
Beg your pardon?
Expand your vision statement to include other people like the employees.
Yes.
Okay.
And how it will help the company. You understand? Eh?
Yes.
Elaborate further so that what can happen and why are you doing it? So you said what you're doing and then what will that help with? Help me as an employee or the company or the market?
Yes.
Okay.
You can say, for example, we are going into digital or it's called what? Digital publishing of books.
Ebook.
Yes.
To be able to serve the market. Yeah, that you've been serving, that's universities and schools to save the cost of buying textbooks and to remain in the business for a longer time, something like that. You understand, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you say what you're doing, how you're doing it, and for what will happen. How will that help people in the company and your industry? You understand, eh? Expand a bit more.
Okay.
Must show the benefits of what you're doing.
Can we phrase that?
Yeah, we're clear?
We can simply say,
Yes.
we are changing from hard copy book publishing and sales
Yeah.
to e-book
Yeah.
production, selling and distribution in order to retain market share while retaining also our core staff as a company.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. To make it feel like I also belong in this vision. I'm not just seeing the company growing. What about me, you know, as an employee? Yes, that's clear now. Continue.
Okay. Proceed.
Back to Arnold.
Okay, back to Arnold. Okay, I'll be answering question 4. Using the quarters 8-step change model, illustrate the change strategy for the organization. We established a state of urgency where journalist printers will be moving from printing our textbooks to creating and having an organized e-platform where we can have these books uploaded so that we can, the students are able to access them online remotely and not having physical copies. That was a state of emergency, since it's a directive from the Ministry of Education. Our compelling vision: create an ebook platform to publish ebooks for high school and university students. Yeah, and then the communication will be more like a trickle down effect as well, where we shall inform the top management through memos, emails, meetings, and then further on expand to all the staff. Then empowering employees will be able to facilitate and equip them with working tools, training on the e-platform as well, so that they're able to operate the system that we'll have created in terms of publishing the books online and also monitoring the progress of the platform and ensuring that it's being used and any challenges are also being addressed. Generating short-term wins, we would create a platform mode of payment, create the platform first and foremost, and then we'll be able to also make sure there's a mode of payment for it where we can access our target clients, who are the students and who are the university students and the high school students. Then also evaluate the progress of the platform in terms of the subscriptions, and then maybe any challenges using it, the technical errors that may arise.
so that we're able to track how far we've gone in terms of usage. And then maybe the very last one, which was creating greater change, we would have corrective measures maybe for the shortcomings that may have come up, maybe in terms of staff not really being skilled, we'd be able to skill them. And then also either advertising with the other media platforms so that we are able to create the awareness for using the platform as well. And then continuous review and communication on the progress. That is all.
All right, thank you so much for that. Nancy?
Thank you very much. That was team 4, group 4.
Yes.
Yes.
Well done, group 4 and all the groups so far. I think you've done very well. It means you have been able to follow through the entire lesson you have learned the last 2 days of how to identify your triggers in the environment and how to place them in your McKinsey 7 model and how to apply the quarters 8-step model. So I don't know, any questions you want to ask before we continue on? Because we have a short time now. It's our last day, our last hour almost.
Yes.
Anything that's not clear in the first 2 sessions we had?
Any questions from the team? All right, let's proceed, Nancy.
Yeah, we'll go a bit faster now because we only have like 40 minutes remaining and we had a lot to cover today. So having said all that, I want to just say that, as I said earlier, change is a challenging thing. It's not something very easy, yeah? It's difficult to push change in any place, in your own life or even in a company, and you'll experience some barriers to change management. Those are expected, okay? I'll just go through a few of the key barriers we have experienced so far in businesses around and how they look like. And I'll start by saying that sometimes the first and the most critical barrier we find is that there is not much understanding of the change on the effects of the roles of the employees and the individuals. So they don't understand what the change entails for them, you know, why are we doing this and what for? So sometimes you might find that's the biggest barrier, meaning that maybe something was not done very well in the beginning. At the beginning, first steps of the models, the communication was not done very, very well or effectively. So there's plenty of misunderstandings, you know, of why we are changing. That's the biggest barrier in change management that leaders must always try and correct. Secondly, we find that there's a negative employee attitude to change. Employees are not receptive or not open, and it's more of a behavioral resistance kind of behavior. But this also should also trigger something to the leaders, you know, because if you've had employees all this time, they've been working with you, and then they have something negative about this particular change, ask yourself, what have we not addressed earlier? It means something was not addressed earlier, like maybe the change vision was not well addressed, or they're not being included in the change. So when they come to these kind of elements, don't judge the employees, don't be harsh on them, be empathetic and find out from them, what is it that's causing you to be negative? Why are you not with us? So the approach you use here as a leader and the tone you use is very, very critical to try and understand why there's negativity in this attitude. Because nobody just becomes negative for no reason at all. There's a reason why they're becoming negative. Thirdly, the failure to be involved in the change. Unless you involve the employees in the change process, they will just resist it. They will not accept it. Yeah. Remember, change is not just about the systems and machines and, you know, the customers, but who is driving the system? Who drives the job? Who drives the roles here? It's the employees, isn't it? It's people. You can have the best machines, the best computers, the best equipment, but if there are no people doing it, involved in it, they won't do well. It will fail. So involve them in every step of the way. From the beginning, step 1, the urgency, all the way down to the vision, and in every step, rewarding, short wins. So all those areas of change, they must be involved. If you don't involve them, you find a gap there between you, the change, and the employees. And then fourthly, there is poor or very inefficient communication on the change and the process. Again, here, communication is very, very important in the entire process. And it's a two-way thing. So you advise them, you share, and then you listen. It's a two-way. Don't just share to them the vision, what you want to do, how you'll involve them, but also listen to their questions to clarify any doubts or any fears, any apprehensions. Then you can move on, because unless you communicate well, there'll be a barrier somewhere there. They will not adapt easily. All right. And then fifthly, inadequate resources to implement the change. This is more of a systemic kind of resistance. It's whereby you don't have enough resources, or you don't have adequate resources for that in terms of maybe human resource or skills or capital resources. So everything else is there, but you don't have enough resources to finish or even to start this, this change process. Another key one is having lack or low management support for the change. In the managers, as we know them as leaders, they're the head of departments like HR, head of ICT. If the CEO does not communicate well or does not advise them well or get a buy-in from them, they can also be a barrier. You can find like out of 10 HODs, 3 are only the ones who have understood the whole change and they're pushing it forward. And then 7 or 6 of them are not understanding, so they have held it off. So there's no unity in the link. So the CEO, the top leadership must also adapt and be able to bring in the management first and foremost to buy in, to be able to impact the lower level employees to support the change. Another one that we have found is a low commitment towards the change by the teams or employees. They don't have much commitment. They're not involved. They're not feeling part of this whole change. So understand why. Go back and see what have you not done very well. Why aren't they committed to this change? So something has gone off somewhere. And the last one that we have found is that there's a failure because of past experiences in change. Maybe they have done something has gone wrong in the past change programs and they have gone badly. So this time they're saying, well, we don't know. This time again, we don't trust them enough because they have tried before, they have failed. So there's lack of trust and lack of positivity in the whole process based on the past experiences. Okay, so now, in change, we have always said that everybody is involved. Everybody has a role in playing in the change process. It's not just the CEO and the managers who are involved, it involves everyone. The CEO, the managers, mid-level managers, supervisors, and everybody at the front line. So I want to just go through very quickly the roles of each person in the change process, and then you can see where you belong and how you can add to the change within your company. The first one here is for leaders. And the biggest thing for them is to first articulate an urgency for change. Why are we changing? Show the facts and figures, yeah? If we say the economy has shown that the inflation rate has been going low for us, we need to change the way we work. We need to get a buy-in from somebody else. Show them facts. Be transparent here, because you cannot create an urgency unless you prove why. That's the first thing they must do, and do it very clearly and to everyone. Secondly, as we saw in the quarter level of model, select a very effective coalition team or a committee that will run with the change. Experienced people who can understand change, who know the industry, who know the systems inside out, who can be able to successfully drive the change vision to completion. So the people he picks in this committee are very crucial. So of course, understand people, who they are, and how they can help you. The third role for a leader is developing a compelling vision, as you saw, a very strong vision that compels and sells well, that everyone can see where we are going is better than where we are, and do it very, very well, and also communicate widely and get a buy-in before you continue with anything else. So stage 1 to 4 of quarter, for example, is very key for a leader. If you don't do well in that, the rest will not be very successful. Fourthly, he must communicate continuously. And here, it's from the beginning to the end of the change, as in inform, update people what's going on. Do you have any short-term wins? And then listen to everyone and address every concern, every question, because those concerns would mean either 1, there is not very well communication going around, 2, there are barriers in their minds, but whatever they tell you, listen and address them and respond promptly in good time. So again, you'll see here communicating runs in the entire process. It never stops. And it's two-way. I speak, you listen, I listen to you, and I respond back. Then we can move on. Leaders also should have a good roadmap or a good model that's appropriate for them to pick and use for their change model. I shared 5, and there are many more. So pick the one that you feel applies well and can actually marry with you very, very well. You can choose the allowings or the quotas, but one that can work well with everyone in the company as you go through the change. Leaders must also remove the obstacles along the way, and there are many in terms of structure or resources or doubts and fears in people or cultural barriers. If a culture says you don't do this, but now you say you should do it, change that culture, change that core value. So whatever is a challenge along the way, a barrier, remove it as a leader. Don't leave it there. It will hold you back. And then lastly, as a leader, you must model the change. You must walk the talk, okay? If you say we are going east and you shall walk this way, you show them how you're doing it. Don't just say we are going to do this and you're doing it like that. Then you go and do something different. They must model throughout, yeah? If you preach water, don't drink wine, eh? Yes. So do as you say that you should do. So that's about leaders, and there's more. There's so much more. They must motivate and encourage and support everybody else and reward those who do well, yeah? So motivation, encourage, support, well done, positive tones of language. And they must also, as leaders, take some risks, be bold to take some risks, because change involves breaking barriers. And to break a barrier involves taking a risk. If you have seen for sure that where you're going to go is better because we shall survive, we shall grow, we shall get more market share and all that, it means you must be bold enough to take that risk. Don't go back and say, maybe it might fail, maybe what? No. A leader in every place where they lead, they must take bold steps, must take bold risks. A leader must also be able to support the team they pick for the leading, for to lead the change. They're called the question team. They must support them in terms of data, information that they require from the CEO or from the board, and also support them in resources, capital, or in any other way. They must be supportive, because unless this team engineers this change well throughout the company, then it will fail somewhere. They must also provide the resource required for the change, whether it's human resource, the capital resources, expertise. If you have to hire an expert to come and help in the change, do the same. And also develop a plan to resist the change, because you always find people who resist the change. It's normal, it's okay. So plan how you're going to deal with it and manage it well. All right, that's about the leaders. Other employees, let's go to the next level. Senior managers, or the ones who report the CEO directly, have a big role also. And for them, the first role, I'll say, is communicating all the aspects of the project to the employees who are below them, and those below the ones who report to them. So everybody in the department you belong to, or the sector you belong to, must understand what is going on at every one time. And again, here they must speak and then listen, address the issues that are being brought up, and then continue. They must also be the coach and the guide for the other employees, guide them as they learn new methods, new skills, as they are training them, mentor them as well as they go along, because as we said, it's a new place, nobody has been there before. You're trying to navigate with them, support them as they move along. Again, here I'll add, be open to feedback. Consider even having a box where they can get remarks, called a feedback box.
Suggestion box.
Yes, yeah. And try and find out from them what areas of the change do you not, are you having doubts in? Yeah, do you think we are on track so far? What can we do to improve our vision, or the way we are working towards a vision? So get as much as you can for them, because they will let you know. Some things we don't see as managers, but they can see, or they can see some loophole somewhere, and they can advise us because they are seeing it. So involve them, ask them questions, get suggestions. Feedback is very, very key for them here. And once you get the feedback, you plan to address it back, Some things you can't answer back, you can go and say, let me talk to the coalition team or the CEO and see what we can do about that, and get back to them. And as you're doing that as well, be the supportive person, encouraging leader, coach throughout the process. So they're depending on you for motivation, communication, support, and all that, because you're their manager and they report to. And there's more, of course, we can discuss about that. Now, the last group here are the frontline employees, the ones who are now, maybe the ones who are serving the customers, who are machine operators, the ones who now report to the head of department and others. Your role is quite big here because you need to understand and seek clarity for why we are changing at the very beginning. Unless you understand why you're changing, what has caused the change, you will not support the change. So you have a right to ask questions and seek clarity and to be heard, of course, in a good way, you know, the way you ask, how you use that, the language you use to ask questions. So be open and ask, be bold. You have a right to know why and for what reasons. Again here, communication also for you. Speak out what bothers you, for example, or what delights you about the change. What are you seeing as positive and negatives? Speak out, but speak out, of course, respectfully here, objectively, to be able to understand which way we are going and why we are going and how you're feeling about that change. Because here it's about also feeling, isn't it? Change. It affects you as a person, the feeling and how you're feeling. Talk about that also. Thirdly, support the change process. You are there for support. Remain positive and actively contribute towards the change and have some trust in the leadership in this process. Believe in your leadership and say, these are guys who understand the future. They can see where we are and they have seen the data, they have shown us all those things. So let us trust them because this far we have come with them in different ways. Let us allow them to lead us. And here I'll say, as you support the change here, as you're learning the new maybe techniques, new skills, apply them, you know, adapt easily and remain positive because they have allowed you to be part of the change. You could have said, all of you guys go home, for example, but you're part of this change. And also try and see yourself in the new vision. So drive yourself, be self-driven, find a way of just motivating yourself and saying, we are doing this together. My role is very, very key. If we all put our roles down together, we're going to grow and get a better future. Lastly, I can say here, be a volunteer. Sometimes I can ask volunteers who can help us in this area or just inspire these people. Volunteer, you know, be a coach. Try and stimulate and help your colleagues and support them to get better. So these are a few things we have found that can really help us and in different roles, in different places, to support the change process. Any questions so far? In terms of the roles of every person in managing change, can you see your role? Depending on where you are in the company, you can see what your role is. Huh? Let me get some feedback, please.
Anyone? You can unmute or text us on the chat box.
Or you can even add.
Yes.
Yes. Anyone?
Patrick, what do you think?
Anything, Child Purity?
Nothing yet.
Okay, so basically here is to understand what your role is and act on it to support because everybody has a role in this, top to bottom, all right? Now, as we're saying, we all have roles in the different levels we are at. We can also try and stimulate or try and enhance the change model, change process by adding people who are called change champions or change influencers. Maybe you've heard this before in your companies or out there. Now, change champions or influencers are called, they're the people who are either volunteering or they're picked by the management to be able to stimulate or to help in the change process, yeah? Now, these are people that the CEOs can see who are buying the vision very, very quickly, understand, and they just want to run with it. Because all of us are different in the way we see and how we hear and how we accept things. A few of us are slower in seeing, understanding, and adapting, but there are those who are very, very fast. They understand the urgency very quickly, they see it, and they buy in the vision very, very fast, and they want to just go. So once you see people like those ones, you put them in a place called a change champions category. You need them to help you at every level, at the management level and the lower levels, to influence others, to see what they are seeing, to see the vision clearly, you know, to be able to support them and motivate them. This will make it faster for leaders to be able to get everyone to come into the board and move on the change. And these people are either in the lower level, they can be managers, but once you pick those guys, because they're the ones you see who are volunteering, who are very, very fast, they're asking questions and understanding, use them. They're good for you. And if you feel like you're one of them, volunteer, you understand the agency and the vision and you're saying, yeah, by the way, you should do that. Volunteer and say, I want to support my department or my colleagues in doing this because maybe I understand their language or they understand me better or they trust me better. So go for it. These are very big people in a change process. Now, there's a difference between a change champion and a change agent. If you hear of change agent, it's somebody who is maybe a consultant who understands or who is able to manage or to advise on change in companies. These are people who are hired, the consultants, or they can even be employed for the period of the change. But a champion is somebody who is an insider, an employee at any level who can be able to influence others to adapt to the change quickly. Okay? You feel one of them, volunteer to your leaders and help others and help the company to influence change. Now, what is their role, the change champions in the whole process? I'll try and summarize in the 3-stage model that also comes through for the 11 model and also the quarter model. In the unfreezing or step 1 stage, they also help in driving the passion for the change. They have understood the agency and they try and maybe explained in a different language or in their own way to other colleagues, and they show passion and dedication. They're very driven about the whole change. They can help you maybe translate that agency to the colleagues at the bottom there. Stage 2, the moving or the changing stage, they can build networks in the groups that they belong to. They can influence them to start thinking about the change, to inspire them and be role models of the change, at every stage. As they are learning, communicating the vision, they're able to get down there and really help others understand quickly. The stage 3, the rephrasing stage, is where they're able now to give back feedback of how people are doing. They can be able to work with the leadership and tell them you're reinforcing this. Get for us the feedback on the ground. How are the behaviors getting on? Are they on board? How are the teams getting on? Are they gelling well? Can they help us in team building, for example? Educate them more on how we're going to now make it a policy. So at every level, they can help the leaders be able to influence and bring others on board as fast as they can to help them understand what is the change about. And they have a strength because as a champions, they are peer group supporters. They're the same level as others on the same department. Like now, if you're the same department, you are together, you can trust them easier than a leader. They can influence you because you know them, you trust them, you talk to them every day. They can add some influence to you because they can say, look, this guy has understood the whole thing. Let me see what he's saying. Can I ask him some questions? Can he answer questions for me? Yes, he can. They also manage the support managers because they're able to drive the change from the bottom up, from down there to the top. And you can do something like that. You can help them bring it from the bottom up. You have been able to bring up a lot of change from the bottom up to meet the leadership up and get feedback and get modeling done very quickly and support managers to actually move with the change as fast as possible. Thirdly, they are experienced and they're able to understand. They know the system very well. They know people very well. They know where the weak ones are, the strong ones are. They understand how to network. They're experts in that area. So for them, experience is number 1 at every level. And lastly, they can influence a culture of positivity. They can influence the culture or the role or the values you have there positively in terms of beliefs or core values. For example, in terms of championing the change, they can be able to promote the ownership culture if you have one. Yeah, you own the process, you push the process, and we are part of this process, for example. So depending on what culture you have in your company or goals or role models you have there, try and see if you can influence your core values using the champions. All right. Any questions so far in terms of our change champions? Do we have any change champions in Q sourcing so far? Or influencers, anybody who can feel that they can be BPAs in this area? Anyone? Is it clear?
I think it was very clear, Nancy.
Right, yeah. So I'm going to be very fast. We only have half an hour now. We have plenty to cover. So let's go to the last topic. That topic is the last one you're doing for today. And it's very key because in every change, you'll find resistance to change. There is no company anywhere in the world that has never found resistance to change, because it's a new place you're all going to. You'll find someone to resist the change, and it's a common thing. So if you're a leader, expect that will happen. It's normal, all right? Because you're shifting people or systems from a normal to a new normal. You're changing status quo. They have been doing things in this way, and now you're saying we're going to do it this way. It's uncomfortable to change. So understand it's going to be there, but for you, be able to empathetically and be able to be very, 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 what can I say? Add a human face to your approach on how you handle resistance to change. Now, there are two types of change. Let me just skip here, okay? There are two types of change, of resistance to change, and the first one is called systemic resistance. It's about the systems. Nothing about anybody or people, it's about the systems you have there. So here what you're saying is that it's the incompetence of the system to be able to implement the change. So you have a company here called Resourcing. You have a very good vision here, but your resources are not adequate. For example, you're not able to have a capacity to be able to change. Maybe you have a lag in your finances, or a lag in your machinery equipment that cannot enforce the change in time. And this one here can cause a lot of bad negative effects moving on, because now if you fail to take off in the change as a company with your resources, it means next time you say we're having a change, they will say, oh no, before we tried, but it didn't work out. So it becomes a negative effect on the future change issues you ever had before. So this is one thing that's very, very key. As a leader, you must ensure before you launch a new change, you must have everything in place. The car has fuel, engine has been serviced, and you're good to go. So everything must be in place, the people and the system as well. The second here is behavioral change. Sorry. This is where it's about the people, where they have negative or passive attitudes, reactions, you know. They behave negative, they're not supporting the change. And these behaviors, we have 4 categories of behaviors that we need to look at as leaders, understand what behaviors are being shown by the employees and why, and how you can overcome them. Now, behaviors here are not just for the employees, even managers have the same behaviors. But I'll say here for a leader, please do not label the employees negatively. Don't say they're resisting, don't say they're rebelling, they're just reacting as human beings, and it is normal. It's okay. Yeah, tell them it's okay, understand how you're feeling, but how can you address this behavior or how you're feeling? So I'll go through them very quickly from number 1 to 4, and they're all the 4 Ds of behaviors. The first one is called disengagement behavior. So what you'll see here is a withdrawal kind of behavior. They are withdrawn or they disengage from their work. They like step back and say, well, okay, I can see this change going on. They don't get involved. They're physically there, but not mentally there. They're absent. They're not engaging with you any longer. Yeah. And for this, you'll see or hear comments like, yeah, okay, we shall do it. Yeah. You say them, do something for me. Okay, fine. I'll do it. What next? They're not engaging with you and asking questions or getting clarity. So for this kind of behavior, what you can do is have empathy and ask them, what is the concern you have? Why are you not engaging with us, you know? Understand what the issues are, and they can tell you maybe because I'm not clear about why we're changing or what we are doing, why was anything wrong what we're doing. Understand where they're coming from and assure them it's all for the good intent of the company and for you as well, and try and engage them in a way on how they can be involved in the change. Because if they're not engaging, they're like robots. They're just doing things and passing with emotions every day. So find a way of making them get back on board and be engaged. All right. Number 2, this identification. This is where somebody has lost their identity in what they do in their role. They feel like they have lost their role of who they are, you know. Before they were maybe the head of this department or they were the head of this operation, and now the change, they have gone to a different place where they feel they have lost who they are, or they have lost the way they had always worked. So you hear comments like, oh, you know, before I used to do my job like this, it used to work like this. Now they have changed everything else. So such comments tell you this person is being has lost their who they are. They feel insecure. They want to cling to the past of how they used to work well. And for the best thing to do for this person is to try and involve them in a new change. Ask them why. Why do you feel you don't belong anymore? What is going on? Why are you feeling that way? and try and involve them in a new role that creates for them a purpose to continue and feel a part of the change. But they haven't lost a single thing because they have lost the mastery of how they do things. Make them feel they can still be relevant in the change. The third behavior is disenchantment. This is very, very key. It's the worst because it's negative, it's anger. They feel like the past has gone, the past has been very, very good, and they're very, very vocal about it. Here, they are vocal and they're trying to say negative things. Yeah, this will never work. You know, how can they make this thing change? I don't want to be here any longer. They are vocal about it and they can be contagious. They can rally people around and become negative and sabotage your change motion. So this is very, very critical. If you see such people who are very vocal and negative, put them aside, yeah? Away from everybody else, address them aside and ask them to just calm down, okay? It's fine to be angry, I can see what you're coming from, but what is the problem really? And you'll find that in most cases here, it's not about the change. There's other things in the past, underlying issues, you know, they've been carrying forward, maybe with the bosses, the department, their work, and this change now is a last straw that has hit the camel's back. So understand what else, because this kind of anger has come from somewhere else, an historical kind of thing. So address those other issues underlying in the past and start and ask them, now the change has come. Any issues you have so far the change that we can help you understand, maybe yes or no, and address it. But the anger must first be addressed. Calm down, you know, relax. Let's talk maybe tomorrow morning when you're fresh, yeah? Go home and just be calm. The fourth behavior is disorientation. Somebody is very lost and very confused about the new change. They feel disoriented. They display ambiguity, not sure about what they should be doing, not sure about the change. And they ask a lot of questions like, you know, so now what do we do? How do we do it? They are very, very detailed. They want to ask every detail about it, yeah? They feel like they are lost in the whole thing. They don't belong anywhere. Finding themselves is very, very hard. So they ask you things like, now, what am I doing next? What will happen next? How? So details. So how do you help this kind of person? Address this lost feeling and confusion. You know, ask them, so what is confusing about the change? Where do you feel confused about? What is the ambiguity about it? Maybe try and address the vision again to them. This is our vision, yeah? Do you understand the vision very, very well now? You see where you fit in and your role is this? You're also part of the entire big picture. So understand the lost feeling and confusion and bring them on board to feel that they are not lost anymore. They have a place and a role to play in the change agenda. So these 4 behaviors will apply for managers or even the other levels of the employees. And as a leader, understand what behavior is being portrayed and address it as a in a very empathetic way. Don't undermine them, don't shout at them, don't call them rebellious. It is normal. This will apply in any company, big or small. You will see it. So how you address this resistance is very, very key as a human being to another, because you need them for the change. And depending on how long it takes, it may require some help. You can hire someone to help you, addressing these behaviors, a consultant, maybe somebody in HR. But before you move on, you must actually try and address all these behaviors that resist the change. Any questions so far? In terms of resistance to change, any question? Or clarity to be sought?
Yes, from Sandra in the chat box.
Yes.
She's asking, from this presentation, could it be true that change creates more informal groups in the organization? And what could be the solutions?
Okay, informal groups, yes. Now, these informal groups, are they supporting or are they against the change? Yeah. Are they supporting or against the change? Can I just get that clarification before I continue?
Are they supporting or against? Is it both, Sandra, or just one of them? Or there are some informal groups that they are either supporting and other groups that are against the change. So it's both. What happens?
Okay, so it means that a few have understood and they are buying into the change and others are not. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So those who are understanding the change means they are running with the change, but those who are not, there could be something wrong somewhere. Something went wrong somewhere in the beginning yeah, of the process. For example, maybe it's about the first stage. They did not understand the urgency of this change, why we are changing. Or maybe the vision was not well sold to them. They can't see themselves in this new vision, yeah? So always think, why do we have two groups? Why is one supporting and one against, yeah? Why is there a disconnect? And go back and ask them, address them. Again, here, communicate. Listen to them, yeah? Be empathetic. Why are we having two groups? What is going on? Maybe they're not really against it. They're just trying to understand why and what and where. And what you can do, because you have two groups, one is for, use that group to maybe support you and help you to bring them on board. Yeah, because it's normal. Not the groupings, but there are different people at different levels of different understanding of the change. Some are ahead of others, some are behind. So you're trying to bring the ones who are behind understanding or implementing together with everybody else, because you cannot have two arms of government. You can't have two different groups. You have to have one group. It's one team, yeah? One team move together, agree, accept, adapt, and move on. So yes, you might have that, but before you get there, you must clarify and understand, is everybody on board? Any other queries we have? Can we move on? So do not move on until you have everybody in one team that supports and moves on with the change. But those kind of group things now should be broken. Don't encourage those groups, because you should understand and see why are there two groups. So you as in that place, understand why we have two groups and bring them on board. Address that division first.
Yes.
Yeah, is that clear?
Yes, I believe it's very clear. We have Motivator Africa. I can't remember who she was when we were starting. Her hand is up. You want to say something? Shamim, right?
Yeah, sorry about that. Let me rename. I wanted to ask, how would you suggest you keep the champions motivated? Because usually in organizations, you have specific KPIs, and being a part of this change might not contribute to that. And in the end, you might put in so much effort in supporting the change. In the end, you end up underperforming in your actual duties. So how would you respond to that?
It's a very good question. For the change champions, those are volunteers or they have been picked by the management, right? So what you can do, you can give them a small package, maybe a small motivation package, an incentive, because they're helping you a lot, isn't it? They're adding some good value for the company. You can do an incentive package for them. There's nothing wrong with that, and saying, for the work you have done, we shall reward you. Maybe in a commission or some money or in kind, have something for them to feel like I've done something good and I was being noticed what I've done. If you want to have maybe a KPI in that, you can add that also. You can say, well, because we know you're doing that as well, you're a champion, we shall reward you for that. But I don't think it's really a big deal for HR. It's an extra thing that they're doing for you. So have a separate thing for them. Don't put a target on that. I don't think it's fair to put a target on that. Just tell them, look, we are going to need you for this department. Do the best you can, and we shall reward you. We appreciate you for what you're doing. But I think in terms of putting a KPI, it's a bit tricky there. Let it be something, an extra thing you're doing to support. You know, you're a team player. You can be volunteer for other things as well. So I think the management should have a reward system for them as well.
True.
But that's my response.
I totally agree with you, Nancy, because I'm thinking change champions is not really a role. You know, it's not something you can say you are the change champion. These are more like volunteers, or normally they are opinion leaders in your organization. Like, it's not something that you can give to someone. Like, you can't say from today, your job description includes change championing. So you see, the fact that they're able to influence the change, to push for the change, I think the most the management can do is just appreciate them. It could be a token, it could be a voucher, it could be people clapping for them. It's the simple of things, you know. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. In any company, we always say you're a team player. You know, you're part of a bigger team, eh?
Yes.
If a bigger team succeeds, I succeed.
I will succeed. Yes, true.
You can do it. If you feel in your heart you can volunteer and you understand and you can support your team members to succeed well, support them. Yeah, it's a good thing. it shows the character of a person. Yeah. Have I answered you? Who was the question? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Any more concerns or questions?
Any questions? If you have any questions, feel free to write it on the chat box or just unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah. So that covers about the behaviors that resist change, and if you're able to see yourself in any of those behaviors, you don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel like it's not normal. It's normal. It happens. Some behave in different ways. So if you're behaving in any of these 4 ways, don't remain there. You can also go and voice up and say, I need clarity. I don't see where I belong. I feel like I've lost my identification here. I feel lost. So understand that it is okay. It's normal. But seek help, and also as leadership, of course, give them some help. Now, for the next, we have what? 10 minutes, eh? I was hoping you can watch a video, Purity.
Yes.
It's a very, very key video I want to show, because I want to show them how a company that went through some changes in the environment and how they responded to the change and what went right, what went wrong. And I want to show them briefly the Nokia video.
All right.
So I want to show you a video that will just show you how a leadership role, a leader plays a role in identifying change in environment and how they respond to change. So be very keen about this video. I want you to understand 3 things here, or not 3 things here. What was the change in the environment? What pastel was the change showing? Number 2, how did they respond to the change as leaders? So let me just come out of this sharing.
Yes.
And come to the browser. Are we there, everybody? Are we together?
Yeah.
Are we awake?
Okay.
Quiet. All right, I want to show this particular one here. Can we see it yet? Purity, can you see it?
Not yet, Bado.
Is it there?
There. Yes, we can see it.
Full screen, eh?
Yes.
So please note down what the change was, the environment in the pastel, and how the leaders react to the change, or maybe what did they not do correctly and how would they have done it better. And it's about, I think, 8 minutes, then we can discuss.
All right.
50 years ago, Frederick Idestam wanted to become one of the world leaders in mobile phone technology.
What was going on as a change? There was change in the air, isn't it? In the pastel, what element of change was going on in the pastel? Anybody?
Technology, by Mona.
Technology was changing, yeah? So in the air, there was something called the 1G Android or on-screen touch smartphones.
Yes.
So Apple came and said, we have a new way of communicating on the screen, yeah? What did Nokia do about it? How did they react to it? How did they react to it, Nokia, in the video? They downplayed it, isn't it, yeah? They thought it's not going to last. They thought that people still want to go for the keyboard kind of base phones that they had, yeah? And that was their downfall, because after Steve Jobs made the announcement that day, and they did not see the opportunity, because the environment can give you a threat or an opportunity. And they were the first, they were the only ones, so the 14 years they had held the market on mobile phone. And with that, not reacting positively and grabbing opportunity, they lost it to others, yeah? So Apple came in and grabbed the market, others came in, Android, Samsung came in, yeah? And they lost the market share after 14 years. And they had all they had to do was just to move in, because they had technology, they had the 1G system, they did not adapt quickly, and they lost it. Did you all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah? If you watch carefully, they allowed others to come in and take their market share. They did not take the risk as leadership in Nokia. And that's what happens. That's a lesson for us, because If you have all it takes, you're the leading market share number, you're the first one, you're the only one for a long time, you have the skill, technology, and all the resources, never allow anyone to come and take your place. You take the risk. Somebody has seen a gap there, you jump in and block them. Yeah? That's a lesson that you can take from that video. Any other lesson you can grab? Any more lessons we have seen? Are we there? Everybody's very quiet.
Yes,
it's lunch.
they're so quiet. I don't know what's the issue.
They know the video or they don't watch it. Anybody else? Where is Patrick? Where is Henry? Where is Sonia? Okay, in that video, I'll just showing you the lessons that we can learn on how we should be able to respond to change. It's about being able to listen and watch, observe, and be the first to be the change. Do not allow anyone to come and grab your place if you have to grab. Take risk takers and move with the change. Adapt quickly. Because now Nokia, after many, many years, they went down, they lost their position, they lost even their market share, they lost resources, they lost money, and they're slowly now coming up, slowly, after a long, long time. They're adapting after many years of losing, because Apple was number one, then there was Samsung, the Android took over, if you're following the history of the mobile phones, and right now they're trying to come back in the same thing they lost in the Android. Yeah? All right, so having said all that, it's now 5 past time. I just want to share a quote here as I finish off.
Before you read the quote, Rebecca is saying, do not downplay your competitors in the market. I think that's a lesson learned.
Great, it is. Never underplay, never allow anybody else to see the change before yourself. So keep a very, very low, very, very key eye on the market, on the ground, and be the first to respond, because somebody saw a gap there and they did respond. Anybody else?
Nothing. From Sandra as well. The video teaches us to keep an eye on the market and competitors, just as you've said.
Yes. Being the market leaders, you must be the first to know what is going on. You cannot afford to stay away. Do not assume you're the first one and you remain the first ones, but always think about remaining fast. What is going on? What do customers need us to do? And you quickly adapt. All right, any more?
Nothing else.
Time has run out, so I'll just leave you the words of Barack Obama. In terms of change, he said, change will not come if we wait for someone other than our person to come in at that time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. So you as Q sourcing are the change that you are seeking in the industry. Be the first one. Don't let anybody else come and show you the change, right? That's my closing remark for this session. And I thank you all for being attentive, for being there, being very, very cooperative and involved, and being able to give us feedback. And till next time, asanteni sana.
Yes, I thank you so much, Nancy, for that. I really enjoyed the sessions. I think this will start the conversation for Q sourcing. Just go back to that contact page on the presentation. Contact, yes, thank you. So I think that is it from us. I think we've learned a lot from this team. Would you agree that, Nancy?
I've learned a lot of things about
yes.
how they work, and I learned about FET. Is it FET? Fit?
Yes, fit. And there was also SMART, or is it
SMART? Yes.
Yes.
So I can speak to them.
Sandra, you want to talk?
I'm just waiting for you guys, then I can.
Yes. So we are sharing a feedback form on the chat box. So feel free to give us feedback on the 3 training sessions that we've done the previous days. I'll also send the same to Sandra to share on email for those who are not available for this session. So I really want to appreciate my sincere gratitude to you, Sandra, and the entire team of Q sourcing for being very thoughtful about your team and the need to impact, to grow, to train your team. And as I was saying, like, I really wish that as a team we are able to embrace change, to adapt to change quickly, because it's the genesis of any company or institution. So thank you so much for those active participants, for the people that we've seen their faces.
Yeah.
I hope the next time I'm in Kampala, I'm able to pinpoint someone from the streets. But thank you so much. So until next time, I think that is it from us. Sandra, back to you.
Thank you so much, Purity and Nancy. We've really picked, okay, personally, I've picked a lot from the training. It has been very insightful. I'm hoping for the rest of my team, it has been insightful as well. I hope you can also share the content that we have studied so that we can refer to it as well and see how best we can adopt and change our mindset. For me, I would like to say thank you so much for your time and also for the knowledge that you shared with us. Hopefully we can use it to apply and also to improve our work relations here. Yeah, that's it from me. Thank you so much. Hopefully we can engage you for other trainings as well. And we hope that, I'm just hoping that the rest of my team has learned quite a bit from the presentation that you've shared with us over the past 3 days.
All right. Thank you so much, Sandra, for that. Yes, we will share the recording of these sessions, the 3 of them. We'll also share the presentations that Nancy was using. We are also issuing certificates of participation for all the attendees. So Sandra, just if you're able to send me the list of their full names, like official names, we can process certificates for them. I'll share them with you so that you can distribute to those who are able to attend. So thank you so much. Make sure you give us feedback on that feedback form there. Sandra will also share the same with you so that you can share it with your team so that you can get feedback from the training.
All right then.
All right.
At least I'll make sure I share all the information that you need.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
All right. God bless you all and good afternoon.
Yeah.
Have a good afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.
All the best in your change management.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.